Hey everyone! Welcome back to... Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American coin history, the 1960 USA 1-cent Lincoln Memorial penny. If you've ever come across this coin and wondered about its circulated value, history, and key details, then this video is for you. So, let's get started. The 1960 Lincoln penny is a small yet significant coin minted by the United States Mint. This coin belongs to the Lincoln Memorial series, which replaced the wheat penny in 1959. On the obverse side, we have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Below Lincoln's bust, you'll see the date 1960, with a mint mark if applicable. On the reverse side, the design features the Lincoln Memorial, created by engraver Frank Gasparo. This design was used until 2008 before being replaced by the Shield penny. But what makes the 1960 penny really interesting is that it comes in two different date sizes. The numbers in 1960 are more compact, with the 6 and 0 closer together. The numbers in 1960 are larger and more spaced out. The small date variety is the more sought-after version, especially in high-grade condition. Now, let's talk about the metal composition. The 1960 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This means that even in circulated condition, the coin holds some intrinsic value due to its copper content. Did you know? Pennies from 1960 weigh 3.11 grams and have a diameter of 19 millimeters. Now, let's get to the exciting part. What is the circulated value of a 1961-cent coin today? If you have a heavily circulated 1960 penny, its value is around 2 to 3 cents due to its copper content. However, certain varieties and better conditions can fetch higher if you have a 1960 penny in MS65 or higher, which means mint state, with no major scratches or wear. It can be worth anywhere from $10 to $1.50 or more. But the real jackpot is if you have a rare error or variety. Some rare examples include, some 1960 pennies have doubling on the date or lettering, which can be worth $50 to $1,000 depending on the severity. So if you have a 1960 penny, take a close look. It could be worth way more than just 1 cent. So, there you have it. The 1960 Lincoln penny may seem like just a small piece of change, but it holds a lot of history and potential value. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious numismatist, checking your pocket change for these rare varieties can be a fun and rewarding hobby. 1988 USA 1-cent Lincoln penny. Could this common coin in your pocket be worth more than just a cent? Stick around as we explore its history, circulation value, and rare errors that could make it valuable. Before we talk about value, let's take a quick look at the design and history of the 1988 Lincoln penny. The US 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln penny, has been in circulation since 1909. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, it features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front. The reverse, back, of the 1988 penny still carries the Lincoln Memorial design, which had been in use since 1959. The Memorial reverse pennies were minted until 2008, when the design changed in 2009 for Lincoln's bicentennial. If you look closely, you'll also find the designer's initials, VDB, near Lincoln's shoulder. The words, "In God We Trust," are displayed above his head, with "Liberty" on the left side and the date 1988 on the right. On the reverse side, the words "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" are placed above the Lincoln Memorial, with 1 cent at the bottom. The 1988 penny was struck in 3 different locations, and you can identify where it was minted by looking at the mint mark below the date. D for Denver Mint, over 5.2 billion produced. P, no mint mark, for Philadelphia Mint, over 6 billion produced. S for San Francisco Mint, proof coins only, around 3.2 million made. With billions of these coins made, you might think they are not valuable, but wait. Some rare varieties and errors can make them worth much more. Here's an interesting fact. The 1988 penny is made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper. This change in composition started in 1982 to cut production costs. That means 1988 pennies are lighter than older copper ones, weighing only 2.5 grams. Now, let's talk about what most of you are wondering. How much is a circulated 1988 penny worth? While most 1988 pennies aren't worth much, some rare errors and varieties could make yours valuable. Let's check them out. One of the most famous varieties. The 1988 penny was supposed to use a reverse die designed for 1988, but some were accidentally struck with the 1989 reverse die. The easiest way to tell is by looking at the designer's initials, FG, Frank Gasparo, near the Lincoln Memorial. If you have a 1988 penny with a 1989 style FG initials, it could be worth $25 to $500 depending on condition. A rare error that collectors love: some 1988 pennies show doubling on the date, mint mark, or letters like Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot a strong double die, it could be worth between $50 and $1,000. When a coin is struck off-center, it can have partial missing details. Slight off-center error may be worth $10 to $50. If it's 50% or more off-center while still showing the date, it could go for $100 or more. This happens when a part of the coin is missing due to a minting error. Depending on how dramatic the clip is, values range from $20 to over $100. A small die break in the word Liberty creates what looks like an extra letter I between B and E. These minor errors can sell for $5 to $50 depending on condition. Want to check if your 1988 penny is valuable? Here's what to do. Look for mint marks. Coins from Denver or Philadelphia might have rare varieties. Use a magnifying glass to check for errors like double die or RDV 006 reverse. Weigh the coin. If it's heavier than 2.5 grams, you might have an error. Check online marketplaces like eBay, PCGS, or NGC for recent sales prices. So, is the 1988 penny worth more than a cent? In most cases, no, but if you have a rare error or high-grade uncirculated coin, it could be worth much more. Always check your change, because you never know when you might find a valuable treasure. The 1988 USA 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln penny, is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series. This coin carries a rich history, reflecting both America's tribute to its 16th president and the evolution of the penny's design and composition. The Lincoln penny series began in 1909, commemorating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Before that, the U.S. cent had featured the Indian head design. President Theodore Roosevelt pushed for a redesign, leading to the selection of Victor D. Brenner as the designer of the new penny. The obverse, front, has always featured Abraham Lincoln's portrait, making it the first U.S. coin to depict a real historical person rather than a symbolic figure. The reverse, back, originally displayed wheat ears from 1909 to 1958, known as the wheat penny. Designed in 1959, for the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This design remained until 2008. The 1988 Lincoln penny was minted during a period of gradual changes at the U.S. Mint. While it still used the Lincoln Memorial reverse, it was part of the modern penny era, where pennies were no longer made of solid copper. Before 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc/tin due to rising copper costs. The mint switched to a zinc core with a thin copper coating in mid-1982. The 1988 penny followed this new composition, making it 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. Weighing 2.5 grams, the 1988 Lincoln cent was struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, 6, 092, 810, 000 produced; Denver Mint, D mint mark, 5,253,740,443 produced; San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, proofs only. 3,262,948 proof coins struck. This means the total mintage for 1988 pennies was over 11.3 billion, making it a very common coin. In 1988, mint marks were still being hand-punched onto the dies. Some rare varieties exist where the mint mark appears slightly doubled. In 1988, the mint accidentally used a 1989 reverse die on some 1988 pennies. This variety is rare and valuable, identified by subtle differences in the FG initials near the Lincoln Memorial. While billions of 1988 pennies were produced, many were heavily circulated. Because of their zinc composition, they are prone to corrosion over time. However, high-grade uncirculated examples and rare error varieties still attract collectors. The 1988 penny represents a key transition in U.S. coinage, as it was among the last years before major changes occurred in the 1990s, including new minting technology and design shifts. 1984 USA 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Memorial penny. Ever wondered if this old penny has any hidden value? Stay tuned as we uncover its history, mint varieties, error coins, and what it's worth today. The Lincoln Memorial penny series ran from 1959 to 2008, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The 1984 penny continued this iconic design, but there are some interesting details that make it stand out. Designed by Victor David Brenner, obverse, and Frank Gasparo, reverse, composition, 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper, copper-plated zinc, weight, 2.5 grams diameter, 19.05 millimeters. 1984 was an important year for Lincoln pennies because of a famous error that can make your coin worth a lot more. But more on that later. The 1984 penny was produced in 3 different U.S. mint locations, each with different production numbers: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark; 8.15 billion minted Denver Mint, D mint mark, asterisk asterisk; 5.57 billion minted San Francisco Mint, S mint mark, proof coins; 3.29 million minted with billions produced. Most of these pennies are common, but condition and errors can make a huge difference in value. Now, let's talk about the circulated value of the 1984 Lincoln penny. Since these coins are not made of valuable metal like pre-1982 copper pennies, their face value remains at 1 cent in most cases. But what about collectors? Heavily worn condition, 1 cent, face value, light circulated condition, $0.025, almost uncirculated, 10 to 25 cents. So, in general circulation, the 1984 penny is worth just a cent unless it's in pristine condition. But here's where things get exciting. Some 1984 pennies have rare errors that make them highly valuable to collectors. Let's look at the top ones. 1. 1984 Doubled Ear Lincoln Penny, DDR, Double Die Reverse, one of the most famous errors for this year. Look for a doubled earlobe on Lincoln's portrait. Value, $20 to $250 plus depending on condition. Now, if you're lucky enough to find a 1984 penny in pristine condition, it could be worth much more. So, if you have an uncirculated or proof 1984 penny, it might be worth grading. The 1984 Lincoln penny might not be the rarest coin out there, but certain errors and high-grade examples can fetch you some extra cash. So, next time you go through your pocket change, check for those errors and mint marks. You never know what you might. 1981 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln penny. Could this little coin be worth more than face value? Stay tuned to find out. The Lincoln penny has been a staple in American currency since 1909, honoring the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. By 1981, the U.S. Mint was still producing these pennies in large numbers, but big changes were just around the corner. 1981 was actually the last full year that Lincoln cents were made with 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched to a zinc core with a thin copper coating, making the 1981 penny one of the last classic copper cents. This makes it special for collectors. Now, let's talk about where these pennies were minted. The 1981 penny was produced in 3 locations: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark; over 7.4 billion minted Denver Mint, D mint mark; over 5.3 billion minted San Francisco Mint, S mint mark. Produced as a proof coin. If you have a 1981 S penny, it's likely a proof coin, which means it was struck with extra care for collectors and not for general circulation. These can be more valuable. Now, let's break down the features of this coin. On the obverse, or front side, we have Abraham Lincoln's bust designed by Victor D. Brenner, with the words, "In God We Trust," above, "Liberty," to the left, and the date on the right. On the back, or reverse side, we see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, with "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" above, and 1 cent below. Since these coins circulated heavily, most 1981 pennies you find will be worn and brownish in color due to oxidation. Now, let's get to the part everyone is waiting for. How much is the 1981 Lincoln cent worth today? In circulated condition, most 1981 pennies are worth only face value, 1 cent, but there's a catch. But wait. Some 1981 pennies can be worth even more if they have errors. Here are some of the most valuable ones to watch out for. Look for doubling in Liberty or the date. These can be worth $20 to $100 plus if part of the design is missing due to misalignment. Values range from $10 to $200 plus if the penny has a missing edge due to an error in minting. It can be worth $10 to $50. Raised lines or blobs in the design can increase the coin's value. Some rare error pennies have sold for hundreds of dollars. So, always check your change. So, is the 1981 penny worth keeping? If you find one in great condition or with a rare error, absolutely. Otherwise, most are only worth a cent. But with their historic significance as one of the last full copper pennies, it's still a fun coin to collect. Do you have a 1981 penny in your collection? Have you ever found a valuable error coin? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more coin videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.